Hi, I grew up in these areas and I'm old school. When I grew up, the artists were the community. And I like to hear how maybe you guys can help recreate that, because I feel like there's a big separation now and it just breaks my heart. I used to go to see, Brothers Johnson's in the park. It was, Ike and Tina down the street. It was a common. Now I feel like there's this big gap between, and then I'm so happy to see, women being talked about in jazz. I just feel like there's just big disconnect from the community, and I like to see that. I don't know if we can get back to that.
The thing about being a part of the board of directors of the Arts Council for Long Beach is this notion, I think I was talking about it earlier, this notion of public art, right? And when we have these conversations about public art, we're always talking about the murals in the parks, the statues and all that. Art that is free and accessible to the public. The thesis for this very show today is called Culture and Concerts. I believe that music is also an art, and it also can be expressed as public art. High quality, professional artists, free and accessible to the public. Now, will the artist accept it's going to be a little lower pay? Maybe, but at the same time, you're giving back to the public and you're giving the people access to your music and all that. We have to continue to lobby. This is how I met Kiana. We were up there at the state capitol giving a mail up there about the funding that they provide for arts and culture. We have to have partners like the Long Beach Public Library to help fund these things. Have professional sound, professional artists, top notch. No disrespect to the local artists, put them on the bill too, but free and accessible to the public, high level, so that we can narrow that gap that you're talking about.
Please.
So this is exactly what Leimert Park Jazz Festival is doing. It is a free festival. I work really hard to raise the money to keep it free because I am committed to providing equitable access to quality arts programming in my community in South Los Angeles and the greater Los Angeles area. We also have year-round programming, low cost. I think I mentioned a monthly jazz series that we do on the fourth Sunday of every month at an art gallery in Leimert Park called Aziz Gallery. We're amplifying emerging artists. We have 4 bands who each have a 3-month residency throughout the year. They open up with a 1-hour set and transition into a 1-hour open jam session. The open jam session musicians are creating a talent pipeline for the emerging artist set at the annual festival. So musicians who come to jam have an opportunity to be selected to perform on stage at the festival. Right now, we are just a 1-day, 1-stage festival. So all I have room for is 1 emerging artist set. As we grow, my vision is that we will potentially have multiple days and multiple stages. I'm not necessarily aiming to be a huge festival. I'm not of the belief that bigger is always better. I'm more about quality over quantity, but I do see the potential for at least a second stage and perhaps a second day. So this is exactly what you're talking about, is exactly what our mission is at the Leimert Park Jazz Festival, and I hope you all, before you leave, will pick up the flyer for this year's festival. Our headliner is Dee Dee Bridgewater. She is going to be presenting her project, We Exist, the Dee Dee Bridgewater Quartet. And we have this year, and admittedly, we have not always centered women artists, but this year, so every year we have 5 acts. This year, we have 6 acts. This year, 5 of the 6 are either all female or the band leader is a female. So, and Tatiana Tate is on the lineup with her band, the Melanin Horns. So check that out.